HarperCollins presents The Burnings by Naomi Kelsey. Read by Rhianna Mcgreevy. Now o'er the one-half world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Now witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings. Macbeth. Prologue. Denmark, 1578. The walls loomed up before him, stark against a starless sky. As he approached, the noises of men drowned out the gulls' screams. Groans of those too weak for more, shrieks of those who had long ago forgotten sanity, the cries of a few who still hoped to be freed. The man Bothwell sought had been in Dragsholm Castle almost 10 years. Bothwell doubted he'd ever been blinded by hope. His uncle had been blind in other ways. Coins rattled from his purse into the guard's hands. It took far less than he'd expected for the keys to start jangling. Were they so poorly paid? But he wasn't a man who wasted time on sympathy, and he gave them nothing else save an impatient glare. They led him inside, through corridors where draughts bent torch flames backwards, and an unseasonal chill wrung damp from stone walls. As their footsteps knelled past cell doors, men flung themselves against narrow grilles, gibbering, pleading innocence, snarling vengeance. A lesser man might have flinched. Bothwell eyed them thoughtfully. Had they once been warriors? Counsellors? Churchmen? One prisoner had dreamed of being a king. They were moving upwards, towards the highest tower, and he felt a thrill of familial pride. Of course, a Hepburn would have to be confined in the most secure of cells. The further they ascended, the quieter the chambers became. These were men who'd had dignity drilled into them like sword fighting, who wouldn't have screamed if the devil himself had appeared in their cell, but struck a bargain with him. Some said his uncle already had, though if so, the devil had failed to keep his side. The guards stopped outside a cell so high the shutters trembled in the winds off Nexeler Bay. Bothwell glanced back at the spiral stairs. A long way to fall, should someone need to fall. He turned back to the guards. Was it the barely past Danish winter making them so way-faced? Or could they see his thoughts in his eyes? The latter, he hoped. High time a Hepburn instilled fear instead of provoking scorn. You will leave me alone with him. Defying him didn't occur to them. Once alone, he turned the key. It creaked, stiff with disuse. Good. No one else had been here. The stench hit him like a flintlock, and it took every ounce of his obstinacy not to gag. The last thing he wanted was to appear weak in front of his uncle. Clenching his teeth, Bothwell stepped into the cell. 7 paces by 7, no more. Just high enough for him to stand, but the prisoner couldn't. Hunched beside a wooden pillar was his uncle's wretched figure. Chains had chafed his wrists raw. A reek of rotting flesh and pus spread every time he shifted position. They'd been pinned at ankle height, forcing him to stoop or crawl. Bothwell rolled his own broadening shoulders with grim satisfaction. "Who are you?" The voice was harsh as a crow's. The mouth that hurled the demand a mess of black stumps and gaps, half hidden beneath a beard once as dark and oiled as Bothwell's own, now tangled and crusted yellow with vomit. A man who no longer cared, who knew there were few things worth caring about. Bothwell circled the prisoner. Best to check for concealed weapons. You never knew with a Hepburn, even one in prison for years, and besides, he rather liked making people wait. Beneath his boots, a smooth circle had been worn, its edges exactly where Bothwell's feet fell. He liked that too. His stride was just like his uncle's. A man who might have fallen far, but who'd had the furthest of distances to fall. He crouched down to look the prisoner in the eye.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?